Hello, everybody, and welcome to Albuquerque, New Mexico, home of New Mexico United and home of tonight's Week 12 USL Championship showdown between the Black and Yellow and San Antonio FC. Welcome in. My name is Tyler Ortega, joined tonight by David Weesey-Carl. And David, these two teams coming in, New Mexico sitting in second, San Antonio a little bit lower in the table, still early in the season here.
Yeah, New Mexico United flying high in all competitions so far. Second place, aiming at first place if they can get a victory tonight for at least a little bit. Sacramento plays an hour after them. San Antonio, fourth place, still fighting for a home position in the playoffs.
These are our players to watch tonight, presented by Toyota. Both number 17s, Greg Hurst, he's New Mexico's team leader in goals on a 31% conversion rate. On the other side, Juan Agudelo, who in turn has started every match in 2024 for SAFC. These two very capable goal scorers.
Yeah, New Mexico United getting goals up and down the roster, but only two players with more than one goal. Hursty with the most, 4. Daniel Bruce with 2. Greg Hurst has been your scoring threat for you tonight.
New Mexicans' favorite Scotsman there, Greg Hurst. And on the other side, it is Juan Agudelo, the former New England Revolution man. Of course, he's got a number of caps for the U.S. men's national team as well.
Yeah, if you watch the U.S. men's national team over recent years, you know who Juan Agudelo is. 2 goals, 2 assists on the year, probably their second best goal creator. Their first one's out. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit.
This one going to be a big one in terms of Western Conference standings here tonight. The 2024 New Mexico United season presented by Sandia Resort and Casino. Close to home, far from ordinary. We'll be back on the other side of this with lineups and kickoff.
Win on 3, 1, 2, 3, yeah. I said the God and he told me keep moving. I'm at the show and they told me keep grooving. If it ain't me, tell me who else gonna do it. I'ma just do it. I'ma just do it. I'm at the top of my city, I'm Tulip. Bitch said that I be the hottest improving. Every day I see the fruits of improvement. I'ma just do it. I'ma just do it. Win on 3, 1, 2, 3, yeah. I said the God and he told me keep moving. I'm at the show and they told me keep grooving. If it ain't me, tell me who else gonna do it. I'ma just do it. I'ma just do it. I'm at the top of my city, I'm Tulip. Bitch said that I be the hottest improving. Every day I see the fruits of improvement. I'ma just do it. I'ma just do it.
Soccer Salute Service Night here at the Lab. Tonight's match brought to you by Matucci's immersive handcrafted Italian experiences since 2013. Dave, let's have a look at the starting lineups here presented by the Somos Unidos Foundation. This is what Eric Quill is rolling out here tonight. You're going to see Greg Hurst getting the start. A.O. Flanagan fresh off his first goal in black and yellow as well. We see Tony Herbert getting the start in the back line. He too scoring in the midweek in the U.S. Open Cup tie. Really, not a whole lot of change here.
Yeah, not a lot of change. Again, A.O. Flanagan getting his second straight start. Earned it after the goal against New York City FC, too. And then Abdi Mohamed doing what Abdi Mohamed does since he got here almost 25 days ago. That number's important. playing every minute of every match so far since he arrived.
It'll be a 4-2-3-1 for Eric Quill and his men. This is how Alan Marcina is rolling out his 11. Of course, SAFC dealing with plenty of injuries, and so numbers might be thin. In fact, Dave, we had a late switch here within the last about 10 minutes leading up to kickoff, where it's been reported that Jose Mulatto will be starting in place of Mohamed Omar.
Yeah, don't know if that's an injury, don't know what happened with that, but you mentioned lots of glaring misses for San Antonio FC. The biggest one, the guy who stirs the drink for them, Jorge Hernandez, out for this match with a red card suspension.
Out due to suspension. He had played every single minute for SAFC up until that point. That includes during their Open Cup run as well, which unfortunately for them, it went a little bit short. It was a one-and-done situation, whereas, of course, I'm sure if you've had your eye on the U.S. soccer landscape over the last 5 or so days, you're well aware New Mexico United into the quarterfinals for the second time in club history. Just remarkable.
Yeah, going to have some time to talk about that, I think, all night tonight. But LAFC up next for the black in yellow in the Open Cup. But 8 matches separate them from that. It's a long way away between that quarterfinal and now. And New Mexico United going to be focused on the league. Eric Quill talked a lot this week about how it's important to focus up right now. First place is on the line tonight for United, if only for about an hour.
Going to be a big one here tonight. That is our center official, Matt Thompson. Our assistant referees on the sides, we've got Jennifer Garner and Chris Scherfrantz. And our fourth official, Charlie Delgadillo.
Did you say Jennifer Garner is an AR?
Multi-talented.
She's very, very talented.
That is Greg Hurst. As we mentioned, the lead goal scorer for New Mexico United. Of course, New Mexico in their home black strips, San Antonio in their road whites. Welcome in to everyone watching. And we are underway here from the lab. It is Soccer Salute Service Night as New Mexico looking to keep their perfect home record intact here under Eric Quill in 2024. Dave, they're off to a hot start here at the lab. In friendly confines, picking up a 9 out of a possible 9 points.
Yeah, and it's hard not to feel confident when you're New Mexico United in this stadium, when you have a crowd like you have, not just in the numbers, which is one of the highest in the league, currently the highest average attendance in the league for 2024, but every New Mexican, give me one of those for 10 of anybody else.
Early throw in here. Now, if you're an SAFC fan, you're probably scratching your head as you watch this match early on, just 42 seconds in, and thinking, what's different? Well, it's the camera angle. We've actually switched it up. We are now shooting from west to east, and so we won't be dealing with that sunset glare here as the season progresses. And honestly, Dave, I think this is our second match doing it now. It's a more elevated view. I think it makes for a better viewing experience.
Yeah, and I think everybody was probably sick of the J.J. Abrams lens flares they were getting when we shot east to west. So it's a great job by our crew. We have an incredible crew here who, not just the camera folks, but the engineers and everybody who makes this broadcast possible. And the shot looks great.
Down goes Chris Gloucester. Foul is called. Agudelo, the guilty party. Agudelo, his third trip to the lab here. Second with San Antonio. His first trip here with Birmingham Legion a couple of seasons ago. Picked up a goal and an assist in a 2-1 win. Here's Flanagan. He was the goal scorer in the midweek. 1 of 3.
And he looked really confident in that midweek match against New York City FC. You know, he'd struggled to find minutes prior to that, and really did look confident in that match. Obviously, not just the goal, but the way he controlled possession, would bring the ball up through center and along the right side, and it seems like coach is taking notice.
These are our Garcia Automotive Group keys to the game. Break the streak, use your home field advantage, and close out the halves. Dave, tell us about breaking the streak.
Yeah, breaking the streak. New Mexico United has not bested San Antonio FC since October of 2021. That's a long time, Tyler. There's been draws in there, but New Mexico United hopeful that they can break that streak and take home 3 points, which again would at least temporarily put them into first place in the West.
An early Fiesta Auto Group free kick here for New Mexico. Bailey, Flanagan, I believe that's Harris, all standing over it.
Shooting into the wind here.
It's going to be Bailey off the touch from Flanagan. Bailey plays this in, and it's headed away. Hernandez has a go.
He'll tell you that was a pass, but I think it was a shot.
Luckily for him, Harris with the speed to track that down, and his cross goes over the crossbar there, and ultimately it's going to be a goal kick here for McIntosh.
Greg Hurst with a head on that one. Gets past his defender, but isn't able to really put any sort of danger toward net there.
A look at our Ben Sherman Law injury report. Injured at work, Ben Sherman can help, and just like San Antonio FC, the injury list long here for New Mexico United.
Yeah, lower body. New Mexico United facing quite their fair share of injuries, but despite the injuries that they faced, and there have been several throughout the season, still sitting in second place. They play most of their matches on the road. They've played several along the East Coast. It's been impressive for Miracle's men so far.
Goes back to McIntosh. McIntosh making his second consecutive start as Cisniega also on the injury report for Alan Marcina.
It's a nice move.
Flanagan turns his defender and draws the foul.
Yeah, cooked the defender along the right side there. It's just speed from Flanagan along the right, and defender's got no choice but to bring him down. Lucky to get away without a yellow card there. I think if this was later in the match, you might have seen yellow there.
Another Fiesta Auto free kick for New Mexico. That is Eric Quill, third gaffer in club history. This is his first full season. Came in almost around this time last year. It was a little bit later in the season, a couple weeks. But came in, Dave. He's really overhauled the squad since taking over. And you can see now he's able to play the style that he wants to.
Absolutely. He came in last season and inherited a bunch of players that weren't necessarily fitting of his style as the free kick goes in right now. But yeah, he came in with players that weren't necessarily, quote, Eric Quill players. Was able to bring in a few mid-season, including this guy on the ball, Nicky Hernandez. And then in the offseason, brought in several of his own.
Hernandez, the former San Antonio FC man. Hernandez signed on a 25-day contract last season.
Speaking of 25-day contracts, that's a nice tackle from Abdi Mohammed, whose 25-day contract, we're getting close to 25 days. It'll be 25 days. Actually, today is the 25th day of Abdi Mohammed's 25-day contract.
So, of course, I'm sure New Mexico United fans have grown accustomed to seeing him in the club's jersey. I don't think he's missed a minute of play since signing for the club on short notice.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible to come in midweek when he came in. He came in on a Wednesday or a Thursday, I believe. Played the match on that Saturday, played 90-plus minutes, and has done that every single match since. He's been terrific for the club.
That's the gaffer, Alan Marcina. He's in his 5th season with SAFC. His 5th as the head coach, 6th with the organization. He was actually the first-team assistant in 2019.
A nice header from Naples.
Gloucester able to track this one down as Agudelo, the guilty party. Once again, that's 2 early fouls here on Juan Agudelo, and that's going to give us time to tell you about this 529 game update brought to you by the Education Plan. That's New Mexico state-sponsored 529 plan. Give your kids a better and brighter future. Learn more at theeducationplan.com.
Yeah, you like to see you make the NBA equivalent. Agudelo's in early foul trouble here. You like to see that. He's arguably their best player on the pitch for San Antonio right now, and if you can get the referee keeping a close eye on a physical player like Agudelo, that bodes well for New Mexico.
Beautiful night here in Albuquerque. It's a little bit windy here throughout the day, but by and large, conditions incredible as Maples comes through, able to just get a touch on that, asking for the offside flag, and not going to get it.
Yeah, several players, including Gloucester and Maples, putting their hand up for offside, but looked like Maples did keep Agudelo onside there. And as it stands right now, Tyler, here in the 8th minute of the match, New Mexico United currently in first place in the Western Conference, even on points with Sacramento, and leading on that first tiebreaker, which for some reason is not goal differential.
Interesting.
Never seen that before.
Interesting.
In any other league.
Corner kick coming up here for the visitors. Initial contact by Greg Hurst. There'll be a throw in here for San Antonio. We've got a second. Let us tell you, coming up on Wednesday, May 29th, Monterey Bay FC taking on Eastern Conference leader Charleston Battery on CBS Sports Network. And Battery tasting defeat for the first time last night.
Wilmer Cabrera and company.
Yeah, El Paso Locomotive picking up a big W.
Yeah, that was a big one for them. Second straight win for El Paso after not getting a win in any of their matches prior to that. Something going well finally for El Paso. The first one, sorry, no. We had a draw prior. My apologies.
Posu pokes that one away from Chol.
United controlling the majority of the possession here in the early going, 66 to 34%, obviously very early in the match. 20 total passes for United to 11 for San Antonio. Passing accuracy about the same at about 60% so far.
Hawkinson plays this one across the 18 and unable to track that one down. Shannon Gomez. The last time these two teams played each other was actually right here at Isotopes Park. It was back on August 12th of last summer. It was a 3-0 win for SAFC. It was Rita Zuhir with a brace within 30 minutes. He got the party started 2 minutes in, followed it up in the 29th, and then Patino adding one more before the half. And that was all the visitors would need as New Mexico fell to San Antonio in both matchups last season.
And Zuhir, both of those goals, absolute firecrackers. Nothing Alex Timbakis could have done about either one of them. But sometimes that's all it takes, and it was one of the biggest shellackings United took last season.
There's a look at our current conditions. As we mentioned, a little windy. Can't imagine you feel it too much down there on the pitch. It's the corner flags barely waving a little bit.
But the big flags, they're moving up in right field.
Shannon Gomez out of Trinidad and Tobago. Made 70 appearances for SAFC over the last 3 seasons. There's Mulatto, the late addition to the starting lineup.
These two teams, two of the most efficient in the USL. In fact, number 2 and number 3 in conversion rate in the entire Western Conference, sitting only behind OCSC.
Here's Hernandez. An errant pass from the former San Antonio man. Turns possession back over.
Yeah, United appeared to be on a little bit of a break there, but tough pass behind. Hernandez.
Luke Hawkinson, former Nashville SC man, made 14 appearances for the club in MLS last year. 26 the year prior. Down goes Lacey and the foul called.
Good to see Nanan Hosu get the start this evening. Had a really solid performance against Real Salt Lake in that match, coming on late, but really controlled possession. To see him rewarded with some opportunity here from Coach Quill.
You know, and he was a player that was acquired via transfer from Loudoun, and so you don't see a ton of that in the USL Championship, but when you do see it, it obviously speaks to the potential that the club sees in a player, and so it's good to see him finally settling into this starting lineup for Eric Quill.
Yeah, at this level, if you see a team paying money for a player from another team, it means they really want him. He fits their system. He fits exactly what they're trying to do, and it seems like coaching staff, Itamar Kenan and company, saw something they liked in Nanan Hosu.
Mohamed. Going to find Harris. He's going to go back to Carter Manley. Manley, no stranger to playing at the Lab either. Prior to his time with San Antonio. Spent a couple of seasons with RGV.
Rest in peace.
Toros made 46 appearances there for the club, scored twice over his 2 seasons. Prior to that, spent some time with Minnesota United. Mexico fans, of course, familiar with that organization, that fan base as well, as that is where the first U.S. Open Cup run ended for them back in 2019 up at the Allianz. It's Flanagan turning on the Jets and somehow winning a corner.
Yeah, that's really, really well done from Avion Flanagan. Just kind of goes to show you don't need to be on the ball to make a difference. That's terrific pressure that Flanagan puts on the left back there, forcing the corner when he's all alone. That shouldn't be something that the left back has to deal with, but it's terrific, terrific work from Avion Flanagan down the right side.
Great look at the supporters here tonight. Holiday weekend, still a decent crowd expected. Harris looks like he might have just mishit that one there to Greg Hurst.
What are you talking about? This is exactly what they drew up to.
There's Harris. Hosu now. That one's going to be dealt with by, I believe that was Kevin Lambert.
Calm under pressure, Alex Tambach to Zico Bailey, and then out to the right side to Muhammad again.
Captain Kevin Lambert, 27-year-old reggae boy, 25 caps for the Jamaican national team. He too, no stranger to playing against New Mexico, as I'm sure most know, spent about 6-7 seasons with New Mexico's bitter rival Phoenix Rising, 2017 to 2013. Got some score updates there for you in the top left. Plenty of action going on around the league. Scoreless draw there between Rhode Island and Louisville. Speaking of Phoenix, falling to Indy 11, 2-1.
One of note for New Mexico fans there, Memphis on top 1-0. They are just behind United, a couple points, trying to keep pace with the black and yellow in the West. And obviously, weird to see them as a West team this year. They moved over from the East along with Tulsa this season.
Gomez goes down, and he's going to win the Fiesta Auto free kick as Greg Hurst in disbelief. So he's pleading his case there to Matt Thompson.
Looked like some light contact between the two, but Hurst saying that a meal was made of it.
We'll have another look here. This TLC replay. Replays tonight brought to you by TLC Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Defend your home with TLC's service experts. Hawkinson once again. Hawkinson out of Maple Grove, Minnesota. It's in the in-swinger, punched away by Tambakis. Burks. Lacey now. Dealt with by Gloucester.
Well done by Chris Gloucester. Just get your body in the way sometimes. That's good enough. Comes out to find the attacker. Puts his body between him and the goal, and it'll be a throw for San Antonio.
You got to know that Chris Gloucester is feeling really good coming off that win on Tuesday, and you're maybe wondering why. Well, previously spent time with NYCFC. That was actually the club that he came over from, and so that one's got to be extra sweet.
Yeah, played for the first team, played for the second team, both of them. And spoke highly of his time in New York City, but was ready to come in and take him on.
Hawkinson tries this one again, and what a diving header there from Hosu.
That's well done by Nanan Hosu, not just to see the ball and get rid of it, but just the instinct to know where that's going and to be prepared and to dive in.
Another corner kick coming up here for Hawkinson. Look here on this TLC replay, and you see the athleticism displayed there by Nanan Hosu. That one, luckily for Alex Tambakis, Falls right into his arms.
It's a nice ball from Hawkinson in. Finds an open attacker there. Avion Flanagan may have missed his mark there defending, and fortunately falls right into the arms of Tambakis.
Hanley and Harris battling there. Fans, the USL Championship is on at CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to uslchampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. San Antonio looking to ask some questions here. Down goes Flanagan. Ball still bouncing around. Eventually cleared out by Nicky Hernandez.
Yeah, it's Muhammad.
And now Abdi Muhammad will be tended to.
Because he dove in front of that cross. Looks like it may have just been tough right around the foot or ankle area. I'm sure that doesn't feel good, but hopefully not something that will force him out of the match here. As United fans celebrate the Magic Minute. Tough timing when you're dealing with an injury at the same time, Tyler.
Tell us about the Magic Minute, Dave.
Yeah, Magic Minute 1912 to 2018. 1912, the year that New Mexico was founded, and 2018, the year that New Mexico United was founded. And the fans, well, as you can see, lose their ever-loving minds for that time, and it gets real loud here in the stadium. It's loud all match long, but particularly in that time. If we're back underway.
The captain, Lambert, looking to find Hawkinson, and he does! And Hawkinson with the goal to quiet the crowd. And the visitors strike first here 21 minutes in.
Chris Gloucester cannot believe it, saying he was pushed in the back before Hawkinson headed it over Tambakis and into the net. Gloucester apoplectic right now, and so is Tambakis.
What a dime from the captain, Kevin Lambert. You cannot hit a ball any better than that in terms of placement. And Hawkinson with the beautiful header past the Greek goalkeeper, Alex Tambakis, and now New Mexico with work to do.
And Tambakis a little bit off of his line, but you can't blame him for doing so. When that ball's coming over the top, you have to assume that Hawkinson's going to try and bring it down and maybe fire. So he's trying to cut off the angle there, but Hawkinson just goes over top of him.
Let's get another look here on this TLC replay. This goal, very similar to the one that was scored by Jacobo Reyes earlier this season for New Mexico. Yeah, it looks like it was Gloucester going down.
Tough to tell whether he fell down, whether he was pushed down. He's going to tell you he was pushed down.
What a finish. That is Luke Hawkinson, your goal scorer. New Mexico, as you mentioned, Dave, they're trying to break this streak, this winless streak against SAFC. Not the way that you want to start out if you're Eric Quill and his men.
Well, it's funny because these teams all time in all competitions have a 5-5-1 record. 5 wins for each side and 1 draw. That includes the postseason when New Mexico United bested San Antonio in 2020 for the only playoff win in their history. But recently, it's been one-way traffic as far as results go in favor of San Antonio.
Hawkinson stands over this free kick. Visitors looking to double their lead. Maples gets the initial contact. Burks now. Herbert, and New Mexico saved by Talon Maples.
That's a nice stop from Talon Maples. Coach Quill will not be happy, though. Talon Maples gets the header on the first ball. Coach Cole always talking about you got to win the first ball and then you got to win the second ball. Maples gets ahead to it, does what he's supposed to do, but somebody's got to get up there and get the second ball. It creates a chance, and if not for the inner thigh of Talon Maples, it might be 2-0.
So San Antonio now on the front foot. So New Mexico sort of scrambling to get a grip here.
Another corner kick for San Antonio.
It's Tony Herbert. The Trinidad and Tobago international. He's made one cap for his country. For Hawkinson, that's his second goal of the campaign. He's ready to send in another corner. In swinger, and Tambakis able to grab that one and gives Burra a little shoulder check there for good measure.
And Burra will get a yellow here for stopping the play here.
And Burra, our first player booked this evening. 25th minute yellow card.
One of the key pieces that the USL and US Soccer has told referees to focus on this season, that is stopping the restart of play. Now that can be from a free kick, that can be from a throw, that can be any number of things, but it can also be from stopping play in that way. Play hadn't necessarily stopped, but Tambakis was trying to outlet, trying to find an open player and go quickly, and Burr prevented that from happening.
A yellow card brought to you by Ferguson Law Firm. When you've been fouled, call Ferguson Law Firm, New Mexico's leading personal injury attorneys for over 40 years. Here's Agudelo. It's going to be a throw in here for San Antonio.
Good pressure there from Maples, but it's off his foot again and for another San Antonio throw.
Osu pleading his case, and he's going to win the argument. Very, very rarely does that work out.
I was going to say, you don't see that happen very often where a player says, no, it's my ball. And the referee says, you know what? Yeah, let's go with that. AR had initially pointed the other way, but center referee overrules.
Here's Gomez again. Agudelo. This one poked away, and Gloucester finally relieving the pressure only momentarily.
It's a nice back tackle there from Zico Bailey.
Throw in here for New Mexico. That's Dayon Harris, the 26-year-old Canadian. Previously spent time with the Tampa Bay Rowdies, scored 6 goals in 71 appearances there over 2021 to 23.
You and I were talking about Dayon Harris before we came on the air here, Tyler. I feel like, first of all, he's been terrific in creating chances. I believe third on the team in chances created so far. But feels like a goal-scoring outbreak. Just feels like it's coming for him.
Yeah, Harris, 1 goal scored this season. It was against Phoenix Rising out in the Valley. As his first and only goal scored for the club.
The only goal in that match.
The only goal in that match. What was a very windy night down there at 38th and Washington.
You and I were there?
We were indeed. Tambakis looks to get things restarted here. 23 saves coming into tonight for the Athenian. Couple of clean sheets. 8 appearances. Didn't have a whole lot to do on Tuesday. Only had 1 save the entire 90 minutes.
Yeah, New Mexico and New York City FC 2 really played to a stalemate in that first half, but the second half was all New Mexico as they came out strong, firing, going for goal, but also did a pretty great job of keeping NYCFC 2 away from their area entirely. The second half was played almost entirely in NYC's half.
So that one took place at St. John's. No, not exactly at the college. It was the top of a parking structure.
Yeah, that's the most New York thing I've ever heard in my life. You got to find a place to put a soccer pitch. Why not go up, build up, and it works.
Herbert heads this one away.
That's well done from Nanan Hosu, anticipating once again.
Unfortunately for him, squanders possession, and Agudelo looks like he might be onto something. You know, this is going to be a fun battle to watch here for the rest of the night. Juan Agudelo against Tony Herbert. This cross goes in, finds the feet of Zico Bailey. Down goes Flanagan.
Hosu bails him out.
And Flanagan.
Referee immediately waves on for trainer.
It looked like he grabbed towards his face as soon as he went down. And of course, officials, if it's a suspected head injury, they are told to stop the game immediately. So looks like Flanagan will be tended to. That is Carlos Olivas. He's the director of sports medicine for the club. In his second season here in black and yellow, Olivas spent a lot of time in the MLB prior to coming here to New Mexico United.
Flanagan back on his feet.
Good to see for A.O. Flanagan, the Baltimore native. Played 75 minutes in that Tuesday tie against NYCFC 2. Scored in the 50th minute. That was his first goal for the black and yellow. He's still looking for his first league goal. He looks to be all right. Might have just gotten poked in the eye, maybe.
And again, it wasn't necessarily just the goal, I think, that got Flanagan the start here today, but the energy he showed, again, all the way up and down the pitch, right side, throughout the evening. Looked really terrific against NYC.
30 minutes gone by here at the Lab. Tyler Ortega, David Weesey, Carl on hand as San Antonio FC lead New Mexico United 1-0 by way of a 21st minute Luke Hawkinson goal. Welcome into everybody watching on ESPN Plus, Estrella TV, if you're watching the replay later on KOAT, or if you're at the watch party out in San Antonio at the Rocket La Cantera, watching on the 40-foot big screen.
Whoa.
Appreciate you guys for tuning in. We're having some fun here. Soccer Salute Service Night.
How do I get one of those 40-foot screens?
Might have to put in a call to the 210 to find out. It's Herbert able to block that cross. But so far, it's been San Antonio asking all the questions.
Yeah, early going, first 5 or 6 minutes or so, New Mexico had the majority of possession and chances, but it's been flipped on its head since then. Nice turn there from Hosu.
Hosu, just 23 years old. I mentioned acquired a transfer from Loudoun on February 23rd. Played 90 minutes against New York City 2.
It's an excellent turn there from Dayon Harris. Held up there by Carter Manley, no foul call.
Manley with a couple of goals already this season. Always nice when your defenders can get involved in the attack.
United saw that against NYC. A couple center back goals.
And Maples and Herbert both finding the back of the net.
Flanagan also classifies himself as a defender from time to time, midfielder / defender, so he could say all 3 goals were from defenders in that one. San Antonio doing a really good job thus far in clogging up the passing lanes, anticipating where New Mexico United is going to be throwing the ball, and doing a good job of intercepting. United with 9 turnovers in that match against NYCFC. Several here already.
New Mexico looking to start something up here on the offensive end. As that ball just misses the feet of Nicky Hernandez.
The nice turn and pass from A.O. Flanagan. Looking there for Greg Hurst, who couldn't quite get a foot onto it. But again, great energy from Flanagan thus far. Creating chances along that right side.
Maples has to do some defending.
Agudelo, big, strong guy up top. He's not somebody who, even a strong guy like Maples or Herbert, will be able to push around. He's got some size to him, got some strength to him. That's what had him in the U.S. men's national team for as long as he was.
Agudelo, 28 caps for the red, white, and blue. He scored 3 times. As a professional, get this, 339 appearances.
Yeah, he's played soccer for a long time.
That is incredible.
Those are Josh Suggs type numbers.
That is, man, we're talking about right there. Juan Agudelo, the 31-year-old.
Nice overlap here from Bailey.
Finds Zico Bailey. Bailey cuts it in. Bailey, luckily for him, it falls to Hernandez. New Mexico still in possession.
That's really good team defending from San Antonio to get back on that.
Hurst looking to play something in here. Hurst goes down and it falls. Hosu! He scores his first goal in black and yellow, and we're evened up here at the Lab.
24 goals in all competitions for New Mexico United this season. Now 14 separate goal scorers. Nanan Hosu pounces on the misdirected ball in the center of the box.
McIntosh, you can see with his hands on his hips, just wondering where it went wrong.
Let me talk a little bit about the work from Greg Hurst to get this ball where it does. He cuts in along the end line, around the defender, deflects it off another one, and it just falls to Hosu, who's in the right place at the right time. All he's got to do is tuck it home. Congrats to Nanan Hosu on his first goal in black and yellow. Greg Hurst made that happen.
New Mexico evens things up here. So we have a look at this TLC replay, and you have to give credit to Greg Hurst as well. It looked like he was trying to play a cross in, actually does a little step over, able to get by the defender there, allowing the ball to get played into the box. And Nanan Hosu,
I think Kendall Burks may have had the last touch on that prior to it getting to Hosu. Looks like Hurst was trying to send it across and maybe stepped on the ball and fell over. And it was actually Burks, I think, who got the majority of the contact to get it over to Hosu.
game on, says New Mexico. The equalizer 10 minutes before the stroke of halftime.
And we were talking, Tyler, you and I, about how the majority of the pace, possession, control thus far has been held by San Antonio. But for the last few minutes prior to that goal, New Mexico really growing into the match.
There's your goal scorer, the 23-year-old of the Ivory Coast, Nanan Hosu. Goals brought to you by Enterprise Builders, built on a foundation of trust for over 30 years. And for San Antonio, before they gave up that equalizer, they have a record of 3 wins, 2 draws, 1 loss this season when scoring the opening goal.
That'll be put to the test today.
New Mexico, on the contrary, when they concede first, they've got 1 win and 2 losses. So
United hoping to break both those streaks today.
Down goes Agudelo, and the foul called on Herbert. It looks like Matt Thompson has the yellow card out of his pocket. And Tony Herbert now goes into the book. So That yellow card here in the 38th minute. Brought to you by Ferguson Law Firm. You've been fouled. Call Ferguson Law Firm, New Mexico's leading personal injury attorneys for over 40 years.
It's not quite shooting range here on the free kick, but still a dangerous spot nonetheless.
Not quite shooting range unless you're Mukwele Akale.
Or, yeah, absolutely. 2 goals for New Mexico United in all competitions for Akale, both of them right about from here.
Identical spots. On the bench tonight is Mukwele Akale.
I will say the wind is blowing in that direction.
Here's Hawkinson. He opened up the scoring here in the 21st minute, scored his 2nd goal of the season. His first since April against Miami FC. Hawkinson looking back post. And
safety first there from Chris Gloucester.
That goes off of Gloucester, and so another corner coming up here for San Antonio. And, you know, eventually as these corner numbers start to pile up, got to do something about that if you're New Mexico.
Yeah, San Antonio is too big of a team to allow them this many corners. New Mexico United is a lot of things. Large is not necessarily one of them. They got a few big guys like Herbert and Maples, but overall they're a little bit undersized.
There's Hawkinson. Goes in and cleared off the goal line.
Nicky Hernandez.
What a defensive play there by Hernandez. Here goes Greg Hurst now looking to lead the break.
That is a heck of a play from Nicky Hernandez. The midfielder getting back on the corner kick on the end line. Tambakis was beat, but Nicky Hernandez was there. It's excellent defensive work.
Somebody clip that and send that into at USL Championship.
Save of the week,
for
baby.
The save of the week. That was incredible from Nicky Hernandez. Second time this week that New Mexico have had that. It was Talon Maples on Tuesday night with the goal line clearance.
Maples' 2nd goal line clearance of the season as well.
First, just a little miscommunication there with Abdi Mohammed.
It's a good job there by Chris Gloucester to cut off the first option on that pass, force it into a tougher pass that ended up going out of play, earning United a throw. It's the little things off the ball that Chris Gloucester does that makes him so dangerous.
Gloucester made 22 appearances for the PSV reserves from 2019 to 2021. Tonight making his 7th start, 8th appearance for the club. He's also got a wealth of experience when it comes to the US Youth national teams. He's made 61 appearances for the US men's national teams ranging from the U17 to the U23 levels. So again, another guy that's played a lot of soccer, a lot of high-level soccer.
Yeah, a bunch of different levels. He's got those international caps. He's got, again, we talk about playing at NYCFC, both the first team and the second team before coming to New Mexico, and feels like he's got something to prove. He talked to the media earlier last week before that NYCFC match, and saying, it's not necessarily a chip on the shoulder. He wants to, as we get a foul here, he wants to go out and play well no matter what. We're going to see yellow, it looks like.
It's going to be Joel going in the book. 42nd minute yellow card, and so the yellow card's starting to add up here. That is the 3rd yellow card of this first half. Ferguson Law Firm getting their money's worth here tonight.
Yeah, 2 so far for San Antonio and Noguera and Chol. 1 for New Mexico in Tony Herbert.
Machop Chol in the book here this evening. Let's get another look there. The 25-year-old out of South Sudan. He's got 1 cap for his national team. And there you see where the pain comes for Abdi Mohammed as he lands on the ball.
Yeah, that'll take the wind out of you. Require a visit from the trainer.
That is brutal. So Chol into the book. Prior to his time here at SAFC, spent a number of seasons with Atlanta United. Made a number of appearances for their first team in MLS, also for their 2-team when they were in the USL Championship, also in MLS Next Pro last season. Now here, making his 7th appearance for SAFC. Scored twice already this season. We go off the restart. Harris pokes this one in. Maples got underneath that one.
Maples with 2 goals in all competitions so far this year, 1 in the league and 1 in Open Cup. I know I said it right after Josu's goal, but United now with 24 goals in all competitions, scored by 14 different scorers. That's unbelievable at this point in the season.
Touch there from Abdi. The interception from Burks. I mentioned tonight is Soccer Salute service night here at the Lab. It's a night that has a special meaning to Talon Maples. He's the son of a... Well, just tell us about it, Dave.
Yeah, Talon Maples comes from a military family. It's he grew up in Texas, but moved around a little bit as well. Again, military family for him. And when players come into New Mexico United, we in the front office, we have some conversations with them just to learn a little bit about them, right? You know, tell me about where you're from. Tell me about, you know, your family, all these kinds of things. And we ask, you know, hey, what's a cause that's really important to you? And he talked about veteran services because, again, he comes from a military background, and that means a lot to Talon.
So Talon actually one of a few New Mexico United players who went over to the local VA here, which actually isn't too far from us here at the Lab, and spent some time with some veterans, a bunch of people. The staff are super excited. It's really, really cool video that came out on the New Mexico United socials a few days ago. Abdi Muhammad goes down, and that's going to send us. Yeah, exactly. And we're now into New Mexico Pinon Coffee stoppage time. We've got 4 minutes, celebrating 30 years of great coffee since 1994.
Abdi's going to need a little bit of treatment, I think, at halftime. He's getting beat up along that right side.
And you look at the potential substitutions for Eric Quill, and you see Arturo Astorga listed there. That would be a straight like-for-like swap. And Astorga was doing a little bit of warm-up earlier when Abdi went down. He's not active currently.
And he's been a regular in the 11 for Eric Quill.
Yeah, coming into tonight, he had started every single match for New Mexico United in league play. This cross goes in.
Really floated up there.
That one, unfortunate there for Gloucester. He just takes a quick ricochet, and Carlos Olivas going to be called out once again. Yeah, going back to Astorga, a graduate of the New Mexico United U23 program, signed with the full first team late last season, and since then, as you mentioned, he has been a mainstay in the lineup for Eric Quill. He played, coming into tonight, 792 out of a potential 810 minutes.
Yeah, he's a regular for Eric Quill. So, again, odd to see him not in the 11 tonight for the very first time. But, again, Coach Quill talks about this season, you know, United has more depth than they've ever had. United has the ability, you know, 1 to 18, 1 to 23, 1 to 24 in that roster. Up and down, they've got talent. And I think in years past there's been some concern about a bit of a drop-off after the 11. You know, we've talked about that in the past. But this year that doesn't feel like it's the case. You get a guy like we talked about. Avion Flanagan has struggled for minutes, but he's not struggled for talent. And he's not struggled for speed and impact. And when he comes on and he gets his opportunity, he makes it happen. Not just with the goal last week, but with the energy he's provided in these 2 matches.
My apologies. That was actually Dayon Harris that was down with the injury. He looks to be okay. He's ready to come back on.
Yeah, players along that right side. Muhammad, Flanagan, Harris all getting knocked around.
Osu whiffs on the header attempt. Here's Chol. Poked away by Gloucester. Mulatto now. Back post, and the foul is going to be called.
Offside.
It looks like offside. You're right. It looked like, I think it was Herbert that went down.
United fortunate that Chol had a tough first touch there, because if so, after the whiff from Hosu, he could have been through on goal. And Hosu hearing it from his teammates Maples and Herbert right now.
Tambakis making his 94th USL Championship appearance for New Mexico United here this evening.
It's a good move from Harris.
Hurst has a goal and a rocket from the Scotsman, Greg Hurst. He puts New Mexico United up here in first half stoppage time, and that's goal number 5 on the season for Greg Hurst.
What an absolute rocket from Greg Hurst. Really nice move from Harris to send the ball in off the back heel towards the center of the pitch, and first time right-footed from distance. Greg Hurst with an absolute firecracker for a 2-1 lead for United.
A rocket from the Scotsman breaks the deadlock here just before the stroke of halftime. And just like that, San Antonio go from being 1-0 up to being 2-0 down. And the halftime break could probably not come at a better time for Alan Marcina and his men.
You've seen this all season from New Mexico United. They go down, they come back. In years past, they might have folded up shop, they might have called it a day, but this team continues to fight. Obviously a long way to go between now and the full-time whistle, but United on the front foot once again.
That goal brought to you by Enterprise Builders, built on a foundation of trust for over 30 years. In New Mexico, looking to last year, as we mentioned, the 3-0 drubbing of New Mexico. But this is a different team this year, David.
Yeah, that's some strength there from Talon Maples. And again, we talk about the talent up and down the roster for New Mexico United. But it's also the grit. It's the New Mexican chip on the shoulder that United has shown this season. When they go down, they're never out of it.
Herbert sort of makes a mess of that. Falls Agudelo now. That was not far off.
I've seen a couple whiffs around the top of the box for New Mexico United defenders. Herbert there, a couple plays ago was Nanan Hosu. They got to clamp down on that, or not all of those shots are going to be going wide of frame.
And that second goal woke up the crowd here as the supporter section in full voice. Tambakis and what could be the last kick of the first half is time running down here in New Mexico Pinon Coffee stoppage time. We'll keep playing.
There it is.
And that is it, the halftime whistle from Matt Thompson. And what a way to close out the half here for New Mexico. Goals in the 35th. And then 4 minutes into first half stoppage time from Nanan Hosu and Greg Hurst see New Mexico take a 2-1 lead. Dave, quickly, give us your thoughts on that first 45.
It's the never say die, boys. It's the Kings of Chaos. New Mexico United again down but never out. You love to see that kind of grit from the club. We'll see much more of it hopefully in the second half.
Those are your 2 goal scorers. We'll step aside. New Mexico 2, San Antonio 1. Your score brought to you by First Financial.
with more ways to win. Whatever game you play, Sandia Resort Casino. Now more than ever. Close to home, far from ordinary.
Win on three, 1, 2, 3, yeah. I tell the guy and he told me keep moving. I'm at the show and they told me keep grooving. If it ain't me, tell me who else gonna do it. I'ma just do it. I'ma just do it. I'm at the top of my city, I'm tooling. Bitch said that I be the hottest improving. Every day I see the fruits of improvement. I'ma just do it. I'ma just do it. Win on three, 1, 2, 3, yeah. I tell the guy and he told me keep moving. I'm at the show and they told me keep grooving. If it ain't me, tell me who else gonna do it. I'ma just do it. I'ma just do it. I'm at the top of my city, I'm tooling. Bitch said that I be the hottest improving. Every day I see the fruits of improvement. I'ma just do it. I'ma just do it.
Halftime here at the Lab. It is Soccer Salute Service Night, and New Mexico United on top of San Antonio FC 2-1. Hawkinson getting things started 21 minutes in. Then Nanan Hosu and Greg Hurst scoring to put New Mexico on top. We've got plenty to get to here at halftime, so let's go ahead and jump right in. Let's have a look at the scores and the upcoming schedule here from around the country. A lot of these we've already shown you here during our first half. A stalemate played between Rhode Island and Louisville City. Indy 11 putting 2 past Phoenix Rising. 4 put on Miami FC by North Carolina. Welcome back to the championship. Memphis on top of Pittsburgh Riverhounds currently 1-0. And Rowdies beating Las Vegas Lights 1-0 as well. And some more action coming your way this evening is Orange County going to be hosting Loudoun United FC. So plenty going on. Love to see a lot of those cross-conference matchups as we have a look here at the Western Conference standings. These coming into tonight. So New Mexico United, as we've mentioned earlier on the broadcast, able to move up into first place here tonight with a win and a Sac Republic at least draw, as the Republic sit just 1 point ahead of the Black and Yellow. New Mexico, as you can see, with a game in hand, Alan Marcina and his men a little bit further down the table as they are still ahead of the playoff line where they are used to being making deep playoff runs over and over. El Paso picking up their second win coming into tonight, as we mentioned, knocking off previously undefeated Charleston Battery. Speaking of the Battery, let's have a look now at the Eastern Conference standings, where the Battery still standing atop the conference, 27 points as they lead Louisville City, who are right behind them at 23. Detroit City coming off their U.S. Open Cup run where they fell, ironically, to Indy 11. You can see them there as well. Tampa Bay Rowdies, Birmingham Legion, Riverhounds, and Hartford rounding out the playoff picture. Hartford actually due for a trip out here to the Lab coming up in June, early June. That one on June 8th, so make sure to check that out. Moving right along now, it's our news and notes from around the league. The USL Championship having some success this year in the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. Sac Republic, Indy 11, New Mexico United, all in the final 8 or the semifinals of the U.S. Open Cup. As we've mentioned, New Mexico United drawn to face LAFC coming up next. We'll step aside. We'll be back with more halftime on the other side of this. New Mexico 2, San Antonio 1.
You'll get it done.
When termites show up, so do we. Terminix it.
opportunity here. The hits and a goal.
The best nights start with Jägermeister. Made with 56 botanicals. Always served ice cold.
Take a miracle to come back from this. Heartbreaking end to the season. But what's this?
For the moments when anticipation
Clock's counting down. 5 seconds. 3, 2.
becomes celebration. Jägermeister. Meister the moment.
They're hungry for the women's game. They want to see women's soccer. They want to play women's soccer, and that's what we're building at the USL.
You can see it in my eyes when we walk past. Running every night, won't settle for less. Got me looking to the sky, got me feeling blessed. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest. Burning up inside of my chest. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest.
Looks great.
When termites show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Welcome back here to Albuquerque, New Mexico. Coming to you here live at Rio Grande Credit Union Field at Isotopes Park, or as we like to call it, here at the Lab. New Mexico United 2, San Antonio FC 1. Your halftime score brought to you by First Financial, and the crowd is out in full force here this evening. And let's go ahead and have a look now at our first half highlights, brought to you by Ferguson Law Firm. We're here for you, and we're here to win. And it was the visitors getting things started. Kevin Lambert dropping this ball on an absolute dime to Luke Hawkinson to open the scoring just 21 minutes in. For Hawkinson, that's his second goal of the campaign, his first since April when he scored against the Miami FC. And for Kevin Lambert, might be a little bit surprising, that's his first assist in league play this season. But New Mexico, they were up to the task. Nanan Hosu off the deflection there. It was Hurst able to wiggle his way by a defender. Ball takes a deflection. Nanan Hosu there to tap it home. That's his first goal for New Mexico, and what a goal it was. The incoming transfer from Loudon has now become a mainstay in the lineup, now adding his name to the scoring ranks. San Antonio, though, looking to go back ahead. This one cleared off the goal line by Nicky Hernandez, the former San Antonio man, keeping things level for the black and yellow. And New Mexico, they weren't done scoring just yet, as we're going to see here in just a moment, as Hurst catches this one absolutely perfectly, fires it past McIntosh. That's the 5th goal of the season for the Scotsman. He's the leading scorer for New Mexico United. Daniel Bruce has 2. He's the second leading scorer. And you'll see what an angle there as McIntosh went full extension. Not much he could do as the Scotsman adds another to his tally. That was 4 minutes into first half stoppage time. And that was pretty much all the action there from the first half. Let's take a look now at our halftime stats, brought to you by Duke City Cares. New Mexico started a little bit slow. They were really able to turn things up. It was sort of after that first goal scored by SAFC that really woke up Eric Quill's men. So we're going to step aside. We'll catch our breath. We'll be back with the second half of action as New Mexico looks to defeat San Antonio for the first time since 2021.
1, 2, 3, yeah. I tell the God and he told me keep moving. I'm at the show and they told me keep grooving. If it ain't me, tell me who else gonna do it. I'ma just do it. I'ma just do it. I'm at the top of my city, I'm Tulip. Bitch said that I be the hottest improving. Every day I see the fruits of improvement. I'ma just do it. I'ma just do it.
New Mexico is where it all started. Climbing with my dad. And by 16, I was climbing on the World Cup circuit. Scaling limestone walls and desert caves. It's where I feel free.
We're back here at the lab, just a couple of minutes until we get started here with the second half of play. And there you see a couple of our supporters groups. TIFO, that is the Galactic Ambassadors. You might have seen a recent TIFO of theirs on social media's Monopoly Man. We'll leave it at that as we've got some updates here to the scores from around the country as we look back in on the Memphis and Pittsburgh match. Memphis have now gone up 2-0 over Riverhounds. That game starting to get late. That one at 74 minutes in. And scoring that second goal for Memphis, it was Oscar Jimenez in the 47th minute. So Pittsburgh with the hole to climb out of. Speaking of a hole to climb out of, we've got San Antonio trailing 2-1 here this evening. Is San Antonio this season, they took the lead early, but gave up the lead prior to the halftime. And this season, they are winless when trailing at halftime. They have a 1 draw, 1 loss, so it doesn't happen very often. But when it does, results not good. On the flip side, for Eric Quill and his men, New Mexico United, they are unbeaten in their last 8 USL Championship matches when leading at the half, and they're just not unbeaten. They are perfect. 8 wins, 0 draws. That goes all the way back to last August, the 6th against Hartford. Hartford were able to come from behind and beat New Mexico 2-1. So plenty more going on here this evening. It's going to be a lot of fun as the teams back out onto the pitch. There is New Mexico United. There's your 2 goal scorers, Nanan Hosu and Greg Hurst. Hosu scoring his first, and Hurst scoring his 5th. Hurst, your leading goal scorer for the club in USL Championship play. It's Hurst with 5. Daniel Bruce with 2. He's on the bench tonight. We might actually see him a little bit later this evening. And then you've got a whole lot of players with 1 goal scored. Of course, as we mentioned, Nanan Hosu. You've got Jacobo Reyes, Deon Harris, Nicky Hernandez, Talon Maples, Marco Micheletto, Sergio Rivas, and Mukwele Akale. And so New Mexico really sharing the wealth and sharing the load when it comes to the goal scoring there.
24 goals scored by New Mexico United, 14 goal scorers. Again, that's like the number of goal scorers you see in an entire season, Tyler. We are in match 10 of the USL Championship season. It's kind of unbelievable.
Yeah, it really is. And, I think it speaks a lot to really the style of play that New Mexico have, just in terms of getting everybody involved. And not just that, but you talk about there's no real drop-off when you see, players go down to injury and they're next man up. There hasn't been a ton of drop-off, so I don't want to say it's not necessarily surprising, but it's incredible to see.
That's an old cliche, right? Next man up. You gotta, one guy goes down, you fill in the blanks, whatever it is. But this team truly seems to live it.
Second half underway here at the lab as New Mexico look to continue their streak. their perfect home record so far this season. And that was something that Eric Quill touched on when he first came into this job last summer. He said, we need to make the lab a fortress. And I think he's been doing well so far.
Yeah, absolutely. If you've seen any of the Kings of Chaos shorts that the New Mexico United creative team have put together throughout the season, that's something that Eric talks about a lot in his locker room speeches. We need to make this place an impossible place for opponents to play, and it seems as though they've done that so far.
And Eric Quill likes to play a fast-paced style of soccer. It's entertaining, and one thing that has been said a lot about this season is that this team is fun to watch.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Again, they play entertaining football. And that doesn't just mean scoring goals, even though that's a big part of it. It means hustle. It means checking back when you've lost the ball. It means, finding teammates and playing unselfishly and playing quicker. When United goes up a goal, they aren't just happy to sit back and rest on that goal as the corner goes in here. But they go for a 2-goal lead. They go for a 3-goal lead. You saw that when they were up a goal against the MLS's best team in the Western Conference in RSL. They're up a goal late, and they're still fighting for another one, and they got it. And they win by 2 goals against the West's best team out of the MLS.
And Quill, we've seen the fast style of play, and there's actually an article that came out from a local news outlet this week, and just touching on how Eric Quill uses the altitude here in Albuquerque to his advantage. And for those of you that are watching from around the country or maybe even back in San Antonio and you may not be aware, here in Albuquerque, specifically where we're sitting here at the lab, we're just a few meters off of about 1,600 or 5,280 feet, which is a mile in elevation. And so when you think of Albuquerque, you don't necessarily think mile high. Obviously, that most associated with Denver, but the altitude here, very comparable. And you talk about, getting up and down for 45, 60, that 75th minute, if you're not used to it, it can really take its toll.
Yeah, and up here where we are in the press box, we might actually be a mile high if you add that on. But yeah. Eric Quill, as you mentioned, talked to the Albuquerque Journal's Ken Sickinger about how not only is it an advantage for New Mexico United, but something I had never heard before. He mentioned that he built the roster around players that can handle that, and that they have the stamina to fight for 90 minutes at elevation. And I mean, it's paid off, right? You get into the later moments of matches. Obviously, we're not quite there yet. We're just early into the second half, but you see tired legs from the opponent a heck of a lot more than you see them from the guys in black and yellow.
Heavy touch there from Dayon Harris. His possession going back the other way. Here's Agudelo.
It's a nice turn there.
That's how you use your big, strong body to shield off the defender. Falls back to Agudelo. Lacey now. Hawkinson, the goal scorer. Falls to Lacey. And he puts it wide.
Never really troubled Tambakis there, but I'm continuously impressed with just the strength and physicality of Juan Agudelo, right? He's a guy who's obviously got a lot of technical skill, and he's been known for that for a long time. But his ability to just hold opponents off, box out, hold up play, it's really, really well formulated, and he's a heck of a player, again, not just in his technical skill, but his physicality.
New Mexico currently enjoying a rich vein of form here, reeling off victories in, I believe it's 8 of their last 9 in all competitions.
That's right.
Only loss coming on the road at Al Lang Stadium at the hands of Tampa Bay Rowdies. Other than that, it's been smiles and W's for Eric Quill and his men.
Nice move there. Speaking of the Rowdies, really disappointed to see that Forrest Lasso's season came to an end with an ACL injury as well. We've seen a couple of those recently across the championship.
And of course, the news breaking. I saw it early this morning while I was having some morning coffee, doing a little bit of broadcast prep out of Sacramento. As this through ball here, we come out and claimed by McIntosh, but out of Sacramento, the legend Roro Lopez. It's been announced that he also tore his ACL. He's going to be out for the remainder of the season. And not even just a special player, but a special person.
Yes, and we had the opportunity, Tyler, you and I, a couple years ago when Sacramento was in town to actually meet and talk to Aurora Lopez, and really terrific guy, really nice person. Obviously, the accolades as far as the career goes speak for themselves, so disappointing to see his season come to an end like that, and hope he's able to recover.
Hawkinson looking for Agudelo. Again, this one will be out for a goal kick. Flanagan looks to have taken a little bit of a knock there, and that's going to give us time to tell you that, fans, if you can't watch the match, you can turn on at SiriusXM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access. That's on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Plus, you can hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on SiriusXM FC 157 and the new SiriusXM app.
You talk about the strength of Agudelo, and we have quite a bit. That's terrific strength from Nicky Hernandez to hold off the defender. He ends up getting fouled. Good advantage played by referee Matt Thompson, and brings the ball back. But that's Agudelo-esque strength there from Nicky Hernandez in the middle of the pitch.
Nicky Hernandez is the 2022 USL Championship winner with San Antonio FC. That season had 7 goal contributions, 2 goals, 5 assists. So, visiting fans, of course, familiar with Nicky Hernandez.
Shannon Gomez getting a good talking to from Thompson.
Zico. Burks gets first contact there.
It's a cool little trick play, not trick play, but set piece that United have put together. Second time they've run that with one guy running over. The ball sent in.
That one falls to McIntosh, and it was Gloucester getting involved in the attack.
But it's first player steps over it, second player steps on it, and then Bailey dribbles up. It's a nice way to create some space.
There's Lacey. Cameron Lacey out of Miami, Florida. Went to UNC Charlotte.
We know somebody who went to UNC Charlotte, don't we?
Sure do. In fact, I broadcast one of his games while he played for UNC Charlotte against New Mexico Lobos. And fans, if you're curious who we're talking about, it is one Daniel Bruce.
The longest tenured member of New Mexico United, most appearances. Also a great dude.
Might potentially see him later on this evening. Here's Chol. San Antonio looking for an equalizer here, 54 minutes in.
Surprised to not see Chol maybe take a crack there. He had potentially an angle at the near post.
There's Gomez, back to Chol. Bura now. Bura on a yellow card. Picked that up 25 minutes in.
He was looking for Gomez there, but Gomez was offside and had to let that one go. In an offside position, that is.
Here's Hernandez.
It's a good ball.
He's looking to link up with Hurst. Hurst.
Gonna see yellow here.
Yeah. So Hurst with a goal and a yellow card here this evening.
Needs an assist for the Gordie Howe hat trick.
55th minute yellow card for Greg Hurst. Presented by Ferguson Law Firm. San Antonio last season, 14 wins, 6 losses, 14 draws. It's good enough to see them finish in 4th
Man, 14 draws.
14 wins, 14 draws. 56 points. They lost at Sacramento in the conference semifinals.
Las Vegas has played 12 matches this year. They've drawn 7 times already. That's wild.
That is tremendous.
Drawing more than half your matches.
And San Antonio, look no further. They have as many draws as they have wins and losses combined. They come into tonight, 3 wins, couple of losses, 5 draws. Sitting on just 14 points.
It's another thing that Eric Quill talks about a lot. You know, getting a point on the road is a good thing. You got to get 3 at home. But when you're drawing every other match, it's probably not going to be good for your club.
So hearing there's going to be a substitute coming for SAFC here momentarily. Here's Flanagan. Hurst now, your goal scorer. On a brace. Here's Hernandez. Has that one poked away.
It's a nice recovery tackle there in the center of the pitch from Carter Manley.
We're going to see that change now. It's going to be Hugo Mbunga. So he's going to replace Jose Mulatto. So Mulatto, a late entry into the starting lineup, ends up going about 57 minutes, and his night is done. Hugo Bungu.
Got some space here along the left.
This is Chol. Able to link up with Agadello. Lacey now plays it towards the back post, and that one just sent over the bar by the substitute, Hugo Mbungu.
United may have dodged a bullet there, late arriving on the defensive side of things, and San Antonio doing a great job of swinging around the top of the 6 and then firing over the bar, though.
Talon Maples. Carter Manley, 2 goals this season.
Don't think that's what Chris Gloucester meant to do with that header.
That's going to be another throw in here for SAFC. Here's Hawkinson. Scored in the 21st minute. 2nd goal of the campaign. Almost about a third of the way through the season here.
Nice block there from Gloucester. Gives San Antonio another corner. Five corners. This will be the 6th for San Antonio to just 1 for New Mexico.
Those corner numbers starting to really add up here. Finds Hosu. He's able to clear that one away.
United fortunate not to concede on a corner late in that first half. Nicky Hernandez with the goal line clearance. That will surely be your save of the match, I'd imagine.
Oh, and a collision.
Ouch.
Between Bura and Hosu. Hosu went down immediately. Get another look here on this TLC replay.
Looks like it may have been the ball that did most of the damage there as opposed to the player.
It looks like Hosu had have gotten away with one there. It's Talon Maples. Former Houston Dynamo 2-man. Was the club captain.
A little bit of slippage along that left side for Dayon Harris. Goes out for a San Antonio throw.
Maples going to be called for the foul here.
Maples a little bit of the focus of Matt Thompson's ire over the last few minutes, taking his time on a few free kicks and goal kicks, and then the foul here.
Maples scoring 65 minutes in against NYCFC 2. Yellow card brought to you by Ferguson Law Firm. And so now both center backs for Eric Quill on yellow cards. Tony Herbert picked one up 38 minutes in, and now Talon Maples added to the book here in the 61st.
Again, maybe a consistent infringement there, potentially, for Maples. But yeah, both center backs on yellows. Now, obviously, you've got Will Seymour on the bench should you need him. Kalen Ryden's still recovering from an injury.
It's Joel.
You do wonder, though, Tyler, with this ball sent long towards Hurst. With Will Seymour now back from injury, Kalen Ryden making his way back from injury, how interested Eric Quill would be in potentially getting those guys who previously had been nailed-on starters into the starting lineup when the center backs that you have, that ball sent in and cleared. The center backs that you have in Maples and Herbert have played really, really well.
And Kalen Ryden, Will Seymour, both of them dealing with a little bit of injuries, working their way back as Bura has this one poked away.
Nice job from Hosu.
Bura still in possession, finds Agudelo. He goes down.
And that's a nice tackle from Herbert. But again, it's a good problem to have for New Mexico. 4 center backs who really have proven they are at and above the level.
Yeah. You know, these are good problems to have if you're a gaffer.
And I think the ideal situation, if I'm Eric Quill, who, by the way, has forgotten more about soccer today than I've known in my entire life combined, is the potential for rotation, right? You don't necessarily have nailed-on starters every single match. You know, it could be Herbert one day and Maples the next and Seymour the next and Ryden the next. And I think that's something that I think United in the past has potentially lacked, that depth outside of the starting 11, particularly at that center back position. But it's something that, again, you've got 4 really solid center backs, and I think that makes a huge difference as the season gets longer.
Kalen Ryden, the captain for this club usually. Tambakis wearing the armband here tonight, but Ryden, he's been a mainstay for this club since joining back in 2020. 109 league appearances.
Yeah, one of the most influential players in the history of this club, I think it's fair to say. Wasn't here for year one, but it feels like he was. He feels like an OG, feels like an original. And not just because of the quality of play, even though that's a big part of it, but just who he is off the pitch. He's a community-focused guy. He's welcoming and friendly, and yeah, he's been a terrific ambassador for the club for a long, long time.
Here's Bailey. This one falls to Hernandez now. Looking for Flanagan, and he just puts it wide of the post as Flanagan was looking to bag his second goal this week.
What terrific build-up play that was, and obviously the shot trickles wide of frame, and Flanagan would love to have that shot again, but the ball through Hernandez there, the last pass into the feet there of Flanagan. It's really nice counter. It's quick. It's interesting. It's fun. You talked about fun play from New Mexico United. Just tough finish there from Avion.
"65 minutes gone by here at the lab. Tyler Ortega, David Weesey-Carl. You're on ESPN Plus, Estrella TV, KOAT. Wherever you're watching, thank you for watching. As this one has been a ton of fun here tonight. Plenty of action between these two Western Conference foes. As New Mexico looking to get a victory here over San Antonio after SAFC did the double over them last year.
Looking like a sub coming for United.
Flanagan is going to be subbed off, and we're going to see Jacobo Reyes come on for New Mexico, the 23-year-old out of Harris, Texas, making his 8th appearance for the black and yellow here this season. Scored in that magical comeback against El Paso earlier this year, and then scored against RSL in that matchup in the Open Cup.
Tyler receiving word that that last yellow that we thought was for Maples, actually for Zico Bailey for kicking the ball away. So Maples not on a yellow, Bailey is.
Good confirmation there. So Zico 61st minute yellow.
But I'm sure Quill will feel good not having both of his center backs on cards.
Manley with the interception.
Dangerous ball in there.
Back is up to the task. Sounds like we're going to be getting another substitution here from Alan Marcina coming up in just a minute.
Agudelo not far off that ball in. It looked kind of innocuous with Tambakis coming off his line to get it. But a half step further in, and Agudelo is pouncing on it.
So Lambert plays this one back to McIntosh. Abdi Mohammed, former Columbus Crew 2-man. And now Deon Harris might be onto something. Puts the cross in the box, and it was between the runs of Reyes and Hurst.
That's the right ball there from Harris after the nice run, and he's kept onside, by the way, by the center back. But it's the right ball from Harris. Just nobody there. Unfortunately, you get unlucky with the ball going in between the two runs.
Abdi Mohammed. He assisted Daniel Bruce goal in his first appearance for New Mexico United. Had been in a New Mexico United kit for all of 13 minutes before he picked up his first assist.
13 minutes and I think 2 training sessions.
Incredible.
Joel kicks the ball away there. As I mentioned earlier, it's a point of emphasis for referees to not allow stopping the restart here, not allow infringing on the restart.
We are going to see the substitution now for San Antonio, and it's going to be the SAFC Pro Academy product, Eduardo Fernandez, coming on to replace Cameron Lacey.
That's something you like to see regardless of club. You like to see it across the USL. Just academy products able to come in, play important minutes. We've seen it a lot this season with Jackson Dubois for New Mexico United coming in and playing important minutes. He was actually in on the press conference this week with Eric Quill and Anthony Herbert, Tony Herbert, and he was asked about that. What's it mean to have coach trust you in those big moments, those important moments? You're seeing out these matches against these tough teams. And he talked about it. Now, that means a lot to me, to be able to represent not only my state, but to be able to do it in these moments that mean something big. So great to see it as well for Fernandez here for San Antonio as the ball's played along the right side.
More on Fernandez after this. This is Deon Harris. Rolls back to Nicky Hernandez. Zico Bailey now, the other former SAFC man. And this one cleared by the visitors all the way back to Maples.
Maybe a little too cheeky with the back heel there for Greg Hurst.
And just checking my notes here, Dave, this actually looks to be a USL Championship debut for the 18-year-old Eduardo Fernandez here tonight. So congratulations going out to the forward out of San Antonio, Texas, making his debut on the big stage here tonight.
Asu gets his second shot on goal of the match. But yes, absolutely, congratulations to Eduardo Fernandez again. I'm sure we don't know the guy, obviously, but anytime you see a player come up through the academy system, the youth systems here in the USL, it's an indication of something going right. And a lot of people putting a lot of effort into making sure that a player has the opportunity to achieve their goals, and a local player at that. So congratulations to Eduardo Fernandez and all the people that have supported him along the way. That's coaches, that's friends, that's family, club coaches, all of those things. Congratulations.
Fernandez does have a couple of U.S. Open Cup appearances, but he said this is his USL Championship debut here tonight.
That's nice work from Tony Herbert there. To just strength, just to see out that attack, to control the ball there and draw the foul. United will have what amounts to a very wide goal kick here.
72nd minute here at the Lab. Well, we've got a second. Let's tell you about Select, the official matchball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice.
Nice work there from Jacobo Reyes. Again, strength.
Hernandez. Still Hernandez. Gets down to the byline, and that one poked away by Lambert as McIntosh was fully extended. Now the foul called on New Mexico, and it's going to be a free kick here for the visitors.
Fans don't like that one bit.
Mabungu. Looks like he drew the foul. Looks like Greg Hurst just stretching something out.
Pretty rough and tumble here tonight. A lot of guys going down on both sides of the ball, but it hasn't felt like a particularly malicious match at all. These two teams just fighting hard, getting some knocks here and there, and having to visit the trainer time and time again.
Great defensive work there from Zico Bailey. Reyes has that one poked away. Here's Agudelo. Free kick here, and Hosu just went down. So the Fiesta Auto free kick here, 74th minute. San Antonio looking for an equalizer. Hawkinson once again. This one comes in. Post, it's Burks, and it's going to be another corner kick coming up here for San Antonio. Hawkinson races over as time starting to become a factor here. Just 15 minutes plus stoppage time. So New Mexico looking to continue climbing the Western Conference ladder. This one headed away by Maples. It's going to go all the way back to McIntosh, who wastes no time, sends it right back down to the top of the 18. And a throw-in coming up here for San Antonio. Manley, the 28-year-old. Played his college soccer at Duke, out of Elk Ridge, Maryland. We're going to see a couple of substitutions here for New Mexico. We're going to see Marco Micheletto coming on as he's going to replace Greg Hurst. Also looks like Nicky Hernandez's night is done as well. Hernandez will be replaced by Daniel Bruce, the club's all-time leader in appearances, making his 121st USL Championship appearance for the black and yellow tonight. That is the most all-time. He's also got 11 U.S. Open Cup appearances for the club as well, so over the 130 mark in all competitions for the Englishman. And we mentioned earlier, he is the second leading scorer for Eric Quill this season. Both of those goals coming in one game against Las Vegas Lights.
Yeah, and it's funny, he does have the opportunity from time to time to play up top. It's not something that we've seen for Daniel Bruce in seasons past, typically playing a midfield or winger role. But when he's had the opportunity up top, he's delivered.
Couple of deflections, goes all the way back to Tambakis. Now Bruce. Just run off the ball there by Burks. Micheletto now, the other substitute. Goes down as Micheletto. And so it's going to be a free kick here for San Antonio.
Fans don't like any bit of that. Physical play on the outside of the box. Not sure a foul was warranted in either direction. Fans wanted it for New Mexico, obviously. Not sure what the foul was called. There's the handball there. That's pretty clear. If the foul's not called, I guess you got to call the handball.
Here's Chol. 12 minutes and change left here, plus stoppage.
That one's out of reach of everybody.
eFootball 2024 is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. Let's see Eric Quill. Just asking a few questions, it looks like, to our officials.
I know we mentioned this earlier, Tyler, but this New Mexico team not content with a one-goal lead. Obviously, they would take a one-goal win, but they are going to continue to press. They are going to continue to search for a third goal. Fans saying Bruce is held up there.
Bruce even turning to referee Matt Thompson and asking for a foul.
Eric Quill asking the same question.
Micheletto,
it's a nice ball.
Finds Bruce. Down goes Daniel Bruce. And you can tell he's getting frustrated there. And Burks will be shown a yellow card. 80th minute yellow card. That was on Burks there. So we get another look here on this TLC replay. Kendall Burks. Or excuse me, that's on Carter Manley. My apologies. Manley, tactical foul. Knew exactly what he was doing there.
Frustrating for Daniel Bruce as he controls at the top of the box here.
Bruce was just looking for the run of Micheletto, overlapping. Micheletto, the puppet master in the midfield, if you will, for New Mexico.
It's nice work from Hawkinson right there.
Micheletto, 13 chances created for Eric Quill's side. That is first on the team. Micheletto actually had 2 assists versus NYCFC 2 in the midweek. Assisted 2 of the 3 goals. Good run here from Zico. Micheletto. Finds Reyes. Harris now thought about it. Instead finds Abdi.
It's good closing speed from Manley.
Harris has that shot attempt blocked by Burks. Micheletto getting physical. New Mexico now starting to keep the pressure on San Antonio. Sort of a lazy pass there from Hosu, and Bruce paid the price for it.
It was excellent work, though, from Bruce, as that pass was kind of in the middle of nowhere, and Bruce got his body between the ball and the player. No foul called in the middle of the pitch, but it's excellent work from Bruce to put some pressure on the pass.
Abdi Mohammed. So technical is Mohammed, especially for a defender. It's Gloucester. Teeing one up. That was Reyes, and it was going wide the entire time.
Bit ambitious there, but it's a nice build-up play there through Gloucester. You're going to see a card to the bench here.
Yellow card shown to the New Mexico United bench. Brought to you by Ferguson Law Firm. 7th yellow card by my count that's been given out tonight.
And again, not a particularly chippy match.
No, not at all. Osu goes down, clean tackle, says Thompson.
It's an excellent tackle there from Agudelo.
Final 10 minutes of this one here. Foul is called against New Mexico.
Gomez going down fairly easily there. Much to the chagrin of Dayon Harris. It'll be a free kick.
And this is the point where SAFC, they've got to buckle down. It was mentioned in the midweek by their center back Kendall Burks, a local news article saying we got to stay disciplined late in games, the last 10 minutes, whatever it is, do whatever it takes to get the 3 points. Well, this is the moment he was talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the other side of that same token, New Mexico United need to buckle down here. Will they continue to press high? Will they continue to search for that third goal? Or at some point, will they sit back and absorb the pressure?
Tambakis able to get his hands on that one.
Off his line a little bit was Tambakis there, and he'll go quickly out to the right side.
Counter-attack. Here's Harris now.
There's your answer on pressing high or absorbing pressure.
What a ball there from Herbert.
A lot of space here.
Reyes now. Here's Gloucester.
That'll be a throw just inside. Corner flag, it looks like.
85th minute. Starting to get a little bit tense here at the Lab. 1-goal lead. And, these fans know no lead is safe here late. As Bruce looking to turn on Burks. It's going to be a corner kick.
Just United's second corner of the match. United fans will be, and San Antonio fans for that matter, will be interested to hear that in the 44th minute, Birmingham Legion and Sacramento Republic tied at 0.
Loudon also up 1-0 in OC. That's actually, if I'm correct, the second time Loudon have played in OC over the last few weeks, the first being in the U.S. Open Cup.
That's right, yeah. Don't see that very often with cross-conference rivals. We saw it a couple years ago with New Mexico United and Phoenix Rising playing in back-to-back matches, one in the Cup, one in the league. But as far as cross-conference, that's unusual.
It's a short little trip from Loudoun to Orange County, I'm sure.
Yeah, they do it all the time.
So it falls to Maples. Nicoletto.
You gotta love when fans are telling a player to shoot from 35 yards.
Bruce let that one run.
Well done.
Able to get back in possession. Those aren't boos. That is a chorus of Bruce being echoed by the black and yellow faithful here. Hosu, he's on a brace. He's going to track it down. How about the hustle shown by Nanan Hosu? Cross comes in, and Reyes has his shot attempt blocked.
That is absolutely terrific work from Nanan Hosu. Well, first of all, to keep the ball in play. Second of all, to cut in along the end line and merely find an open Daniel Bruce for a third goal.
Tremendous hustle there from the 23-year-old out of the Ivory Coast, Nanan Hosu. And here's a great look at it. Well done from our camera crew.
Just barely still on the line. And you got to remember, folks, the ball needs to go entirely over the line for it to be out of play.
Corner here from Nicoletto. He'll play it short to Bailey. Zico is looking for Reyes. Harris. He has put in a shift here tonight. Dayon Harris, he has been up and down the field. I'd be curious to see his heat map after this one.
How about his steps?
Yeah, GPS tracker working overtime for Dayon Harris here this evening. 88th minute. Time running out for the visitors to find an equalizer here. And here's Zico now. Play on, says the official. Possession given away immediately after that.
Just after the arm for advantage goes down for the official there.
Hearing there's going to be potentially up to 5 minutes of stoppage time here, so still plenty of time. Enter into the 89th minute. Tyler Ortega, David Weesey, Carl on hand here at the lab. It is Soccer Salute Service Night as New Mexico look to keep their perfect home record intact. So far, they've captured 9 out of a possible 9 points. And if you're new to the sport, it means they've won 3 out of 3 here.
Hey, and if you're an active or retired military personnel, thank you for all you've done for our country.
New Mexico looking for a third. Here's Reyes. Hits a curler, and what a save from Kendall McIntosh. He got a fingertip on it to keep that out of the back of the net. That would have been the nail in the coffin.
That is an unbelievable save from Kendall McIntosh. It's a terrific shot from Reyes. Absolutely nothing to be ashamed of in that shot. It's just a better save. An unbelievable save from Kendall McIntosh. Keeps San Antonio still breathing in this match.
The 30-year-old McIntosh out of Santa Clara previously spent time with Sporting Kansas City. Oakland native. So into stoppage time. Coming up here. Here's Bruce. Goes back to Hosu. And just sends it wide. As Nanan Hosu looking to add another goal to his tally here tonight.
Hosu with 2 missed chances this evening in addition to the one he's made. Neither one of them poorly missed, just good to see him getting opportunities on a consistent basis. Well done from Abdi Mohammed and Tony Herbert there, combining on the takeaway.
So 90 minutes in the books. We are now officially into New Mexico Pinon Coffee stoppage time. 5 minutes added on here, Dave. Celebrating 30 years of great coffee since 1994.
And again, we've said it a couple times, but New Mexico United continuing to push the issue here. Not comfortable with just a 1-goal lead, looking to add to that. As it stands right now, New Mexico would potentially move into first place, but with a goal differential of exactly 0.
Here's Bailey. Finds Micheletto atop the box.
It's a nice tackle there.
Yeah, and you mentioned that goal differential, Dave, and when you look at the record for New Mexico this season, 6 wins, just 2 losses, 1 draw. You can look at those 2 losses. Outscored by a total of 7 goals in those 2 losses, and there's your goal differential right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are East Coast trips against Charleston and Tampa. One of those, the Charleston match in particular.
A couple of players down for New Mexico. There's a look at Nanan Hosu. He's been down for about a minute now.
Appears to be in some pretty severe pain, holding his shoulder there.
And there's another look at, looks like Abdi Muhammad, who we made note of earlier. He has played a physical game here tonight. He's taking a beating.
Everybody on the right side of this formation for New Mexico United. Abdi Muhammad in particular. Avion Flanagan. Guys have just been taking a beating. Again, not a particularly chippy match, just physical. And again, the guys on the pitch right now are an indication of that. Don't like to see Hosu continuing to hold that shoulder.
And we saw the injury report to start the night for Eric Quill. And that is Nanan Hosu. Matt Thompson. He's been tremendous tonight.
Yeah, Matt Thompson called a really good match, a really fair match. At no point did I feel tonight like either team should be particularly aggrieved. And he's kept the match under control. Sue appears to be all right.
So everybody back on their feet. Tambakis will get us restarted here.
You have to imagine you'll have some stoppage time added to the stoppage time here, Tyler.
Yeah, that +5 is probably going to be more like +6, maybe +7. The way things are going, that's Dayon Harris now receiving some attention. You know, and we were just talking about it a couple of minutes ago, how much ground Dayon Harris has covered over the last couple of hours.
Yeah, United wear, and most pro teams do at this point, but United wear those GPS trackers, and as you mentioned, probably getting a workout today. So we may have a sub. Looks like Jackson Dubois potentially coming on.
Jacko, as he is affectionately known by his teammates and those close to him, and he's been tremendous lately for Eric Quill. Made his professional debut against Lubbock in the U.S. Open Cup a few rounds ago. Followed that up with his league debut against Las Vegas Lights on May 4th. Picked up a yellow card in 24 seconds.
And he earned it, too. He went up high and came down with a, let's call it a physical challenge. But again, good to see Dubois and Fernandez get their opportunities. These young academy products really earning their spots and doing well.
Gloucester. Dubois still waiting to make his entry. Second half stoppage time.
And taken back from the center of the pitch, but still standing nearby. Maybe coach waiting to see. Oh.
Foul called against San Antonio, and let's see who this foul is on. If that's on Manley, I think that was his second yellow card, and it is.
It is.
Carter Manley has been shown the door here in second half stoppage time, and that is a red card. And so San Antonio, what little hope they had of potentially finding an equalizer here, just got even slimmer as they go down to 10 men here for the remainder of this match.
Yeah, not going to be any easier as time does continue to tick away. And again, we mentioned it'll probably be, we're already seeing more than 5 minutes here in stoppage time, but doing it with 10 men makes it even tougher.
Manly making the long walk. You know, and unfortunately for a visiting player, when you get sent off, you have to walk right in front of the supporter section.
Shout out to the Albuquerque Isotopes' John Thielander for escorting, well, that's not John Thielander, that's our own, there he is, yeah, John Thielander and our own Charles Rumbaugh for escorting Manly off the pitch. And Manly hearing it, certainly.
Oh, nah, hey, goodbye. New Mexico United fans flying high this season. So here's Bruce looking to just see this one out here. Are the black and yellow. Halftime in Sacramento, 0-0 that score. Bailey.
It's a nice ball in.
It's Harris, and he's run off by Bura.
That's great work from Bura. Again, we've talked a couple times about a couple different players just showing strength. That's a nice work from Bura, although United does earn the throw.
Bura, the 28-year-old out of Guinea-Bissau, made 16 caps for his national team. Here's Bruce. Nicoletto now, and Wisely, he's just working his way to the corner.
It's excellent work by New Mexico, killing this one off. And it'll be a corner. Well done. Zico Bailey, Marco Nicoletto, Daniel Bruce, and Abdi Mohammed.
The fans can taste the 3 points. A bit of a screen set there by Zico.
He's entitled to the space.
7.5 minutes going by here of second half stoppage. Of course, there were a couple of injuries that we had to pause for.
We do have to imagine this will be close to the end.
Zico gets away with one there, and now
Piercy didn't get away with it.
Now he's going to call it back is Matt Thompson.
Not sure who Matt Thompson is talking to there.
So quick restart here. Can't imagine there's a whole lot of time left, as Agudelo tried to get cheeky with that one there and goes to ground. Not quite sure.
I'm not sure the purpose of that restart.
Me either, and I think Agudelo was saying it was a drop ball. Another look on that TLC replay there. So for Carter Manley being sent off tonight, that is now back-to-back league matches that San Antonio FC have seen somebody sent off, of course, missing their main playmaker here tonight, Jorge Hernandez. 32 chances created for SAFC. Full-time whistle here at the Lab. New Mexico make it 4 for 4 in friendly confines. And as of right now, the black and yellow sitting atop the Western Conference standings, winning 9 out of 10 in all competitions here, Dave. Give us your full-time thoughts.
They're flying high, our New Mexico United. First place in the USL Championship Western Conference, into the quarterfinal of the U.S. Open Cup. And they got to say they earned it. You got to say they earned it. They grinded out this win. 2-1. Go the black and yellow.
Greg Hurst, your play of the match winner, brought to you by the Somos Unidos Foundation for his absolute rocket in the first half stoppage time. Your man of the match, Nanan Hosu, he put on an absolute masterclass here this evening. Not only did he score, he was all over the place defensively, also getting forward. And we said it during the broadcast, just give him the award already. Somebody get the USL Championship on the phone. Nicky Hernandez with the save of the match with that goal line clearance. tremendous stuff to keep the score level at the time. And so New Mexico United, as we said, sitting atop the Western Conference right now. As we're going to go ahead and step aside for just a moment. We'll be back at the lab to wrap things up.
Three, 1, 2, 3, yeah. I said the God and he told me keep moving. I'm at the show and they told me keep grooving. If it ain't me, tell me who else gonna do it. I'ma just do it. I'ma just do it. I'm at the top of my city, I'm tooling. Bitch said that I be the hottest improving. Every day I see the fruits of improvement. I'ma just do it. I'ma just do it.
With more ways to win, whatever game you play, Sandia Resort Casino. Now more than ever. Close to home, far from ordinary.
The party is going on here at the lab as New Mexico United flying high, 9 wins out of their last 10 matches in all competitions. And as we mentioned, currently sitting atop the Western Conference. The vibes are immaculate here, DWC. And let's go ahead and jump into the full-time highlights brought to you by Will Ferguson and Associates. See how this one played out here. And early, it was Hawkinson getting the party started just 21 minutes in off this absolute dime from Kevin Lambert.
It's an excellent pass. It's an excellent finish. Dayon Harris feels as though he was pushed. Can't really tell in that replay, but it's a heck of a pass and a heck of a finish.
And for Hawkinson, his second goal on the campaign, his first since April, and that got San Antonio off to the start that they were looking for. But New Mexico were up to the task, as we would see. Just 14 minutes later, off the deflection, Nanan Hosu scoring his first goal for the club.
Nanan Hosu was everywhere tonight. Yes, he gets the goal, and yes, it's terrific, but he created other chances. He was terrific defensively. He got back when he needed to get back. Also, credit to Greg Hurst on this goal. He does the work along the end line, keeps the ball in, dribbles past one defender, dribbles past another one, falls down, and still gets the ball across.
This for San Antonio. This was the big goal line clearance from Nicky Hernandez, and this is what kept New Mexico in the game. It was tied at this point.
That's an absolutely unbelievable save from Nicky Hernandez. United fans, get online when the USL Championship puts up the goal for the week vote and vote for that one. It's terrific. It's not exactly what you expect from Nicky Hernandez, but he earns it.
And Greg Hurst tossing his hat in the ring for goal of the week with an absolute thunderbolt into the back of the net past an outstretched Kendall McIntosh, the 5th of this season for the Scotsman.
That's tops in black and yellow, 5 goals for New Mexico United this season. Greg Hurst absolutely off to a rocket start. You know how many goals he had last season in all competitions?
How many?
5. He's up to 5 already this season. Greg Hurst, absolutely fantastic for United.
And you can tell when a striker has confidence, it is absolutely brimming. And this, a late attempt from Jacobo Reyes that was saved by McIntosh. He got his fingertips on that one, David.
Yeah, absolutely. It was probably the second best save of the match behind Nicky Hernandez. It's absolutely terrific. But that, as you mentioned at the time, would have been the nail in the coffin for SAFC. You know, want to shout out the excellent work at the end of the match for New Mexico United, too. Again, no, they don't get a third goal, but you see here, they're pushing. They're keeping San Antonio on their heels, and really, that's what sees it out for them.
And before we go, let's have a look at our full-time stats here at the lab after 90 minutes this is how this one played out. New Mexico obviously got after it on the offensive end. 13 shots, 5 of those on frame, and they walked away with the lion's share of the possession.
Yeah, they were the better team tonight. There were stretches where San Antonio really had some opportunities to create something. They had opportunities where they were better in possession, but overall, United creating the better opportunities, finishing their opportunities better, and ultimately deserved the 2-1 win this evening.
And so for New Mexico United, all smiles here this evening as they are on the road again next time out, taking on Monterey Bay before returning here to the Lab on June 8th. School's out night. Make sure to get your tickets. Hop on SeatGeek. That one going to be an absolute blast. That's going to do it for us here tonight. For David Weesey, Carl jumping on the broadcast. Appreciate you, my friend, for filling in. For our director, Gary Williams, my name is Tyler Ortega. Thank you for watching.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.